Academy, helping us demystify some of the Zestimate. We'll dig in with him on that piece. I had the app. So we're going to shift gears a little bit. Kathy Harrington has a couple updates. I know you enjoyed that conversation with Darren. I've had a few conversations with him in group and privately, and he really is just an awesome guy. So think through and process a lot of what he said, and take the time to have the mental exercise of determining how you can fold some of those basic principles into your business. I know that will be a worthwhile endeavor for yourself. So Kathy, you've got a couple of updates for us as well, yes?
Absolutely. So Express Docs is our sponsor of today's show, and as many of you know, they are our on-demand print partner. Anything you order by 2 p.m. any business day will be on your desk the next day. They also offer full mailing services. You can purchase lists, very easy to use, and fantastic customer service. So any of you guys who have used Express Docs is familiar with the service. A couple things you may not know about Express Docs. They also have a company store, bags, shirts, balloons, all that, things that you may need for your open houses, client gifts, whatnot. So keep that in mind next time you are thinking about something to order a client. How you access Express Docs is through the web top under Print Shop, or through the greenhouse under Print Marketing Center. So for this next segment here, we've got Brad Andersohn with Zillow Academy. And keep in mind, listen carefully. Keith is going to bury a question, and the winner of that, all you've got to do is, once you hear Keith's question, if you know the answer, go ahead and pop it in that question box, and you'll be the winner. Here you go, Keith.
This will be the first question I've ever buried, so I'm pretty excited about this new opportunity for myself. Brad, thank you so much for being here.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's dive in, because I know that you're going to demystify the Zestimate, which will be awesome, because I think people can get pretty confused around that sometimes.
Sure.
So how do you use and maximize Zillow Zestimates as a real estate professional? Tell me how you recommend that I use and maximize this.
The Zillow Zestimate was designed initially, and is still to this day just a tool for consumers as a starting point to get a value of their home. It's a really complicated process that Zillow uses to design the Zestimate. It's what they call an algorithm. I could take the full hour show to explain the Stan Humphreys, who designed the Zestimate. He came from NASA and literally was a rocket scientist. And so there's, to apply a value to any home when there's 115 million of them in the country, and then to, of course, in this market, try to get as close to the actual market value of that property is not just a challenge. It's a daily endeavor at Zillow. But consumers love the Zestimate because they get to start at a place that's free. They get to gather information, and whether the Zestimate is low or high, it gives them a starting point to begin their journey, whether they're borrowing, buying, selling, investing, or relocating. Zillow endorses, obviously, to work with a local real estate professional to get a true market value of the property. So the Zestimate, the way it works for the real estate professional is that it's a huge opportunity and a discussion point to connect with that consumer. I'm going to be showing you some tools here that I think will be very useful for the agent that's not quite sure how to respond when somebody says, yeah, but Zillow says my house is. And then we're going to show you also how to take that information, and I like to call it the Da Vinci Code. It's really breaking down the Zestimate to saying, it goes beyond knowing what it is and how to talk about it, but how to actually make a difference and change it.
Yeah.
And showing the owner, the things they can do.
This may be in here, and I'm notorious for going off script here. But before we dive in on this estimate piece, how many daily uniques do you guys get on your website?
Currently, and there's actually a page on Zillow. As you know, we're publicly traded.
Yep.
And then, of course, after the interview with the president and the ABC World News and Diane Sawyer, this is actually an old stat you're probably looking on the screen. Last month, I believe it was 63 million.
63
million unique users, and that includes mobile. So what we find is that over 60% of the traffic that comes to Zillow isn't doing it through a search engine, a Google search, a Bing search. It's coming directly from the mobile app on either iPad, iPhone, BlackBerry, Kindle, whatever mobile device.
Yep.
And then we found out of that 63 million on the weekends, 70% of the traffic generated to Zillow comes from a mobile device and using a mobile app.
My intuition, and I don't know this data, so please tell me if I'm wrong, but my guess is that number has exploded and is continuing to explode over, say, the last 12 to 18 months.
Right now, I know that number is higher, but we're showing 66% year over year.
Into mobile.
Yeah. Well,
overall. Searches in general. And then are you seeing mobile, and I know I'm taking you into areas that you don't know, and I promise we're going to dive back into your...
I do.
Yeah, okay, good.
I do.
I know I'm asking you questions we didn't tell you we were going to ask you, which I'm notorious for.
No, it's good. I love it.
But are you seeing mobile really explode? And the reason that I ask is because our agents right now are trying to wrestle with the website creation and how do they position themselves, and should they be hyper-focused on mobile and some of those components. So the reason for this line of questioning is as someone who plays in the space and is a company that's really designed in the space, your institutional knowledge and memory will be helpful. So are you seeing mobile explode? Is that something that you're hyper-focused on as a company? Is it part of the growth direction for you guys?
Absolutely. A few years back, Zillow, not to sound like a poker game here, but went all in on mobile.
Yep.
And said, you know what, you'll notice even on our logo and on our site, we've removed the .com.
Mm-hmm.
We are now a mobile media site. As I said, since 70% of our traffic is coming from the mobile device on the weekends, there's two things. Mobile is crucial to an agent's business.
Yep.
The best tip I could give any agent that's listening to this or this recording or live with us now is, you have literally 60 seconds to under 5 minutes to reply to a lead, at least a lead or a contact that comes through Zillow.
That's twice in 2 weeks we've heard that.
Well, and here's why. Chances are, on a mobile device, they're not sitting at their desk in an office. They're sitting in front of the property that's for sale, and they're pulling up that agent. And if the agent has a voicemail, they don't even leave a message.
Right.
They'll go to the next agent.
Yep.
The second thing is Zillow saw years back that while the home is the only thing stationary, it's the consumer that's mobile, and it's the agent that's mobile. So we've created a conduit to connect the two.
Sort of the mobile-to-mobile communication.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Now we'll dive back into script.
No, I love it. And please bring in questions from the audience as well, because I love to demystify and debunk some of the talk and chatter that's out there.
Good. Good clarifying question from someone in the audience. A unique visitor is defined as?
Somebody whose IP address doesn't show up previously on the previous month. So Zillow is very much into data and analytics and reports, and while I don't have access to a lot of that, what they do put publicly on the site, it kind of goes into detail based on whether that's through one source or Google Analytics or internal sources. But we do know that we are the #1 most trafficked real estate portal on the web.
So just to clarify, if I from my laptop went to Zillow 13 times in a month, I wouldn't be counted 13 times. That's one unique visitor.
One unique user.
And then if Kathy did the same thing, that'd be 2. And then if you did the same thing, that'd be 3.
Correct.
Yep. Okay, good. So now we're going back into the Zestimate piece. So we're going from high level to granular, and knowing me, we'll probably do that a few more times in the rest of our time together. But take us through what we're looking at here.
Okay, so this is just a specific property. I was down in San Jose, and I pulled up a house, and all of the properties on Zillow, again, whether they're for sale, whether they're in foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, REO, bank-owned, or it's just one of the 115 million homes on Zillow, if there is enough data, you'll find some of the properties actually won't show as estimate where we don't have information or data to come up with that number. So every property on Zillow pretty much is going to show a Zestimate price. If the property in this case wasn't for sale, you see the red little house on the screen there that shows for sale $638,000. It would actually have a little gray house there and say not for sale. I just want to debunk and demystify a huge overlooked situation. Consumers oftentimes, they say, I guess they size up your page in 7 seconds, just like they size you up in real life in 7 seconds. They're not reading that.
Right.
And they're likely to pick up the phone, and if you're the agent on the side there as a premier agent on Zillow, or you're marketing or advertising on the side,
I see 123 Elm is for sale.
they call the agent. And here's the biggest mistake I've seen agents make. They don't go to Zillow and look at the property that the consumer's looking at.
They go to the MLS.
They go to the MLS, or they forget that there's 115 million homes, including their own home.
Right.
You know, your home's on Zillow, my home's on Zillow. And they forget that whether the home is for sale or not, the home is still on Zillow. So my tip today, and this is huge, would be pull up Zillow. Have it on your mobile app. It's real easy to, or your mobile device or your website, and pull up 861 Richmond Avenue and look at it and say, you know what? That's just one of the 115 million homes on Zillow, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. Unfortunately, that one's not for sale, but because I have my MLS open in another window, I have two that just went up on the market yesterday. They're probably not even on Zillow around that price. Would you like to see those today or tomorrow?
Right.
What happens is they'll say, oh, doggone it, I wish Zillow would update their records. Well, every home was bought at some point.
Right.
Don't make the mistake of saying it was sold 6 years ago. I wish Zillow would update their data.
Don't waste the opportunity.
Oh, my gosh.
As a way to bash Zillow.
Yeah, the digital,
Use it.
the digital handshake. And plus, you never want to put a wedge in between something
Sure.
the consumer loves, even though you think it might be outdated or wrong information.
Just be glad the phone rang.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Just be glad
exactly
the phone rang.
right.
Maximize every opportunity that you get.
And it's sad to think that there's actually people out there that don't understand that. Now, when somebody does call you and they say, well, you know, I'm thinking about selling my home, or, you know, this estimate is like $50,000 low, or it's $20,000 too high, and I'm paying taxes here. You know, there's always a story that goes with every home. And as you both know, that every homeowner is unique.
Yes.
You're unique. I'm unique.
Yep.
You know, so what we have found is this tool, and we're the only AVM, or what I shouldn't use acronyms.
That's all right.
It's automated valuation models. We're the only company that will grade ourselves. So we provide at the bottom of every page on Zillow, and as I said, if there's 115 million homes, you can imagine how many pages there are on Zillow. So there's 115 million links at the bottom of every Zillow page that take you to this chart. All you have to do is scroll to the bottom of any page on Zillow, click on a little link at the bottom that says Zestimates. What this pulls up is a national, local, county, state, and metro area of how we grade ourselves. So in some areas, we have a lot of information. We have the public record data. We have tax information, appraisal, wherever we gather our data and information. In some areas, we don't. Texas, for example, is a non-disclosure state.
Right.
They're not required to give you anything, bedrooms or bath, doesn't matter. So we actually will go in and grade ourselves. We'll show what our accuracy rating is within that area. Nationally, I believe right now we are at a 9, let's just say 91.5% of the time, Zillow is within the actual selling price of that property. Now, as you know, in today's market, we're challenged because you can put a home on the market for $400,000. It can appraise at $390,000, and someone will pay $500,000, $110,000 cash over the appraised value. Makes it difficult for not only the agent to price the home, it makes it difficult for Zillow to give this estimate, and it makes it hard for the tax man to also assess.
It's hard for everybody right now. It's hard for buyers to know what to offer.
So what I like to show here is not only could you use that tool I was just sharing, you can export every single number and figure off of Zillow into an Excel spreadsheet. That's every city, every county, every state in the entire country. You could put that in an Excel spreadsheet and show the consumer, hey, I don't only know my local market, I know the national market as well. When you show a consumer a spreadsheet that has every bit of Zillow's data on this estimate on a spreadsheet, they're going to be blown away because you know, just looking at a spreadsheet with all that data is really powerful. But here's an even better idea: is showing the consumer how to go in and claim their home on Zillow. And over 41 million consumers have gone in and claimed their home on Zillow, which now makes us a living database.
Right.
We couldn't pay our staff to do that. You couldn't pay the county tax assessor to do that. So with 41 million people logging and claiming their home, a lot of them don't see this link that's on your screen right now. It says post your own estimate. This is really powerful. So I had a gentleman join one of our webinars at Zillow Academy, and he said, you know, your Zestimate this, Zestimate that, Zillow this, Zillow that. I don't think he liked anybody or anything, including me. And I went and I said, you know what, if you go in and just like claim your own home, you can then go in and post your own estimate. And depending on the source and the information you provide at that point can affect Zillow's algorithms and your actual Zestimate on your home.
Right.
And he said, yeah, show me. So I did. And this is a screen I brought him to, where after you claim the home, you can put in a price. And you're going to see in the first arrow there's a price. So me as a homeowner, if I say my home's worth $1 million, yeah, who's going to go for that? I'm the owner.
Right.
But notice if I check it's a home appraisal. Home appraisals hold up with a lender.
Right.
That's powerful. If you want to spend the $400 or whatever it costs to get an appraisal. But when I showed him this, and he's up in Walnut Creek, and I said, you could also ask that person, by the way, are you thinking about selling in the next 3, 6 months to a year? Let me provide you a CMA. A CMA is based on what? A real estate professional's local knowledge, expertise, and wisdom. When you give them a number based on your CMA, and down in the bottom you say, and if you have any questions, contact me, and you put your name, your phone number, your Better Homes, Mason-McDuffie, and your email address, you've just now done two things. You've helped the consumer with the Zestimate, you've educated the consumer, and you're doing a little bit of subliminal marketing on every single profile of every homeowner you do this with. Now this guy calls me up, he says, Brad, I go knocking on doors now. Hi, have you seen your home on Zillow lately? Yes, we have. We love Zillow. Have you seen the Zestimate? Yes. How would you like to change that?
Right.
Are you, would you like me to come in?
How'd you like it to be more accurate?
He says there's no barrier to entry. And whether it's accurate or not, sometimes it's right on the money.
Sure.
But it gets him in the house with no barrier to entry.
Yep.
It gives him an opportunity to show them he's the master of Zillow.
Right.
And if they say, no, we haven't heard of Zillow, he says, what's that? He hands them a card and says, you should know about Zillow because your home is on there and it's showing the public what the value of it is.
Right.
So they run to their computer, they log in and go, oh, yeah, we've been on Zillow. But then they call him saying, how do we do this?
Good.
So this is a powerful tool. He now goes door knocking to all 300 homes in Walnut Creek that he lives in and is using that as a tool to market himself and to also market himself on their property.
Good.
Pretty powerful.
That's great. So I've seen this Make Me Move. What is that?
These are, again, we've had 41 million consumers plus have found their home on Zillow. Out of the 115 million homes, we're getting near to half of the consumers have found their home and claimed it. A Make Me Move simply means, I think they're testing the market, but it allows you to go in and say, I would like to list, put my property to see if somebody will pay this much. So whatever price they put as a Make Me Move, the next screen will show you properties that have done this. I just ran San Francisco for a sample.
Great.
They found their home on Zillow. They claimed it. They said, you pay me this much, I'll pack my boxes and get out. Now, in a market like today, and I know it's getting a little softer, but where there's a lack of inventory, we're sitting here screaming it's hard. There's no homes for sale for all these buyers we've got lined up, and there's all these people sitting on Zillow going, make me move, make me move.
Give me enough money and I'll move.
A plus B is
sometimes
a C opportunity.
Sometimes C squared. Good deal. Good
so
deal.
This just shows you a sample of some of those that are on the site. Obviously, this person asking for $2 million is just trying to get rich quick. But here's the reality, and you guys know this. In this market, people are coming in writing overpriced offers.
Yes.
Willing to pay cash above appraised value. So the way I tell all these people with buyers to do this is you have a fiduciary responsibility to your buyers. Why not go to Zillow, pull up a Make Me Move, contact that owner, because you'll see on the next screen there's actually sometimes a phone number.
Yeah.
So if you click on that, it'll show you there's, I believe I included a screen with a phone number. This allows the agent to contact the consumer and say, hi, I represent a lot of buyers in the area, including your home in the city. Might be able to meet your price. I owe it to my buyers to make sure I leave no stone unturned. Can I come by today and take a look at that, or would tomorrow be better?
Got it. So you're collaborating with the real estate professional.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. Good. So we got a lot more to get through in a short period of time. So let's kind of dive in. We've talked about the traffic stuff. And I know we've touched on mobile, but let's jump forward to how Zillow can help my buyer and listing business grow. Tell me how I can help do more transactional volume by being involved with or having a relationship with Zillow.
I would say just having a presence there. Obviously, the more you're showing up virtually on the site, your picture, your company, your brand, your reviews, the more agent or more consumers are going to see you as the agent, the local professional. being a premier agent on Zillow, there's zip code marketing, impression marketing, but you can also be on there for free. If you engage with advice and discussions, if you have reviews, if you market the site, if you engage with consumers on there, if you're using Zillow Digs, there's like 30 different things you can be doing for free, along with what I would suggest is the Premier Agent Program, which is allowing you to show up in specific zip code areas. It's really more targeted and strategic marketing based on geographic. So, for example, in Pleasanton, if you're showing up on my home and it's not even for sale, it's just my house I'm looking up on Zillow,
right,
and you keep popping up there, and then I go look for homes for sale, and you pop up there, and then I go into advice and discussions, and you pop up there, chances are you're the agent I'm going to call.
Got it. Okay. I'm going to do the plant question now.
Okay.
So the first person to tell me Brad's number, which is different than the number was on the screen, Brad's most current number for how many unique visitors they get, and this is I'll give you a little hint, it was a number that was in the millions. So how many unique visitors does, okay, we already have a winner. Kathy is the winner. A bunch of responses. Thank you, everyone, for chiming in. Some correct, some wrong. But Kathy, you were the first to respond. You're the winner. Kathy Vandal in the Walnut Creek office. So we'll be getting you your prize, your fabulous prizes, and a copy of our home game will be sent to your office for you. So Kathy, congratulations. And Brad, thanks for playing along and helping us with the question.
Sure.
So now let's dive in, because you have some training that's available too, and I want to make sure we let them know about that before we wrap up our show today.
Yeah, Zillow basically brought me on staff. As you know, I come from the title business, so I've been in the business since 1986, working in the title side of the business. Then I worked for Active Rain, an on-site real estate blogging portal, for about 4 years, and now I've been with Zillow. Actually, this month makes 3 years, and they brought me on to do support, education, and training to help agents understand not just Zillow, but technology, mobile, everything from time management to Google.
Got it.
And so Zillow Academy has been taken from being an outside portal to the actual mothership, is what I like to call it. So if you go to Zillow.com/academy, there you'll find we have tons of free support, training, and it's not just Zillow. I mean, we talk about the stuff we're sharing today, but we also talk about the 20 free tools that Zillow provides. We talk about Google Boot Camps. I'm bringing in Katie Lance from Inman News and Katie Lance Consulting tomorrow to talk about how do you undercut the overwhelm. There's so much, you know this, there's so much technology and information, and 100 mobile apps come out today. How do you filter through and weed through that stuff? And she's done a really great presentation on how do you stay focused and undercut that overwhelming drinking from the fire hydrant,
right.
But yeah, it's just a lot of support and training. I do this pretty much every day, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard, 1 Eastern. Same thing we're doing right here, but just really trying to hone in on the industry and the industry professionals' needs and what they're looking for in support. And it's been just an awesome tool for not just agents, but for lenders or anyone even considering what Zillow even can do. So it's a matter of education, support, training. I like to demystify and debunk a lot of the stuff we read out there on the web.
Sure. Well, so, Brad, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you coming and sharing your information and helping us get a little more insight into your company and what you have to offer and how we work together collaboratively in the space. So appreciate you carving out the time to come down to the studio as well.
Enjoy it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have you back on again.
Great.
So that's our show for today. Make sure you don't miss next week's show where we have Mike Mueller, who's going to talk about how to have a meaningful presence and build your brand on Facebook. I've spent a lot of time with Mike. He's got a bunch of great insight into that. And we will be giving away something again next week, a $250 gift certificate to Taylor Photography Group, so you can get that brand new headshot or whatever else it is you want to do with that, or take pictures of your next new listing. So thanks, everybody, so much for listening. Go out and make it a great week.